Hello coaches and welcome to this edition of Give and Go Live. My name is David Newberry and I'm joined as always by my colleague Ian Barker. Hello Ian.
Hello David, pleasure to be here.
Ian, we're going to be looking at a video here from Alan Yost and Championship Productions looking at the topic of midfield and striker passing combinations. And we'll watch the video first and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it.
So gentlemen, what's going to happen is we're going to do our passing patterns here, all right? You're going to rotate from the bottom of the grid to the middle of the grid, all right, into the middle again, into the top. So what it's going to represent is, let's just say the bottom, defensive mid, attacking mid to the top. So the first passing pattern, check away, check two, bypass Christian, find Ethan. Ethan lays it down to Christian. Good, we play it to the top. We play it back down to the bottom to the opposite side. There we go. And everybody rotate one position. So you rotate into the defensive mid, Christian rotate into the attacking mid, to the top, Max to the bottom. Good. And now we're doing the same thing on the opposite side. Check away, check two, Sammy. Good. Here we go. Lay it down. Hey, you dummy that. You leave that. So, Owen, what communication can you give them? Leave. All right. So let's try it again. Sammy, check away. Check two. Good. Good. Spin off. Good. Tell a man on. Good. Play it on. Two touch at the top. Across your body. Across your body. Good at the bottom. And here we go. We're live. Let's go. When you guys are ready on your own on the far grid, play. Good. Good. Overhit your passes. Proper laydowns, making sure they can hit it first time. Good. Good. Better lay down, Sammy. Make sure you can play it first time. Spring it down to the bottom. Overhit the long passes. Ping it and kill it. Ping it. Kill it. Ping it. Two touch here, Christian. Move your first touch. Head up. Drive into it. Well done, Christian. Good. Check away. Check two. Good. Good. Jonah, can you sell it? Yeah. Ball, right? You're almost trying to pull a defender. Sell it here, Max. Good. Good. Check away, check two at the top, Owen. Good. Check away, check two at the bottom, Ethan. Good. Right into it, Noah. Make the eye contact. Enter in. Good communication here, telling him to leave. Good. Well done. Good. Pause the first touch. Step into it, Mikey. Let's begin to overhit our passes, right? We've understand the pattern. We've understand the rotation. Do it better. Do it faster. Better touches. Nice touch. Good. Good. Make it work, make it work, make it work. Adjust, adjust, adjust. Sell it, Jonah. Sell it. Sell it. Yeah. Ball. Spin off. Let's make sure we're timing our runs as the attacking mid. So, Owen, time your run. Wait for the lay down. Make the eye contact. Make the eye contact. Yep. Good. Sorry, that's my bad. Good. 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 Okay, let's move on. Let's clean it up here. Good, and time. So, Christian, you'll start live over here. We'll just go in the opposite direction. Same thing's going to happen, but now it's a double up back through. So where this player was checking in, asking for the ball, we're actually now going to reward him. So again, I check away. First movement for the other team. Second movement's for me. As I set you here and I lay you down, you should be backing out and now attacking into the ball, playing into the attacking mid. As I do that, I'm spinning off. I'm coming in supporting the layer. Man on. Check away, check two. All right. Receiving it across your body and playing it, overhitting your long passes, pinging and killing the ball. Fair enough. So let's see what it looks like live here, Christian. Can we balance out the sides too? One of you guys head over there. Here we go. And play. What do you say? Yeah, man on. Good. Step into it, attack it. Roll underneath them. Roll underneath them. Good. Good. Let's make sure we're never standing still receiving the ball. We're always on the move. Good. Here we go. Check in. Reward them. Find the near. Possession player. Oh, Jonah. Good. Deal with it. Make it work. Everything should be on the ground. Crisp, clean, accurate. It's going to make it fast. Good. Check in, check in, check in. Right away. Set him. Step into it. That sun is bad, isn't it, Owen? Sorry about that. Here we go. Good. 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 Step into it. Step into it. Good. Ping it. Kill it. Take the weight out of it. Good. We know we have a proper laydown when your teammate can play it first time. On the ground. That's all right. Take the weight out of it. Play. Speed of play. Touch play. Touch play. Quicker on the top, Christian. Touch play. Touch. Ping it. Take the weight out. Check in. Tell them what? Man on. Yep, exactly. Go support the next layer. Good. Ping it. Focus on the quality of the pass. Tell him man on. Better lay down, right? He wants to be able to play that first time, Ethan. Check in, check in. Ask for it. Step into it. Better laydowns, boys. Take the weight out of it. Allow your teammate to adjust to it, but they have to be able to play first time. At an angle on the ground. Good. Good. Well done over on the far grid. Good here. Good. Touch play. Good. Make it work. Make it work. Adjust to it. That's fine. Good in time. Hold it up. You guys got the idea. Let's focus on louder communication. Can we put a name to the pass? Guys, we always have in any passing pattern. What do we need to have? Communication. Telling a man on. If he's playing away face, we're telling a man on. What else? Check away, check two. Always, right? We're getting away. First movement for the other team. Second movement's for us, creating the space. What else do we need to be doing? Checking our shoulders. How about the visual communication? Let's say, I want the ball here. Here at the top, Ethan, we want you to receive it across your body with your left foot and step into it. Noah, we never want you playing with your right foot. So maybe you're showing with your left foot, right? Give me the ball here, right? You guys can clean up both the visual and verbal communication, the checking of the shoulders, the details, right? It's the details. So next passing pattern, near side's going to check in. We're going to give it to him. Good. And then from here, you're going to check in, Christian, but you're not going to get the ball. You're going to dummy. It goes into Ethan. So lay it down. Play it into the top of the grid. Check. Curl off of it. 1, 2. Good. Good. Back into the bottom. Double pass here. Double pass here. So get to it quickly. Good. Good. I can already tell it's going to be an issue, and my bad for setting the grids. Take your cone over 5 yards. You guys take your cone over 5 yards. All right, here we go. Final passing. Here we go. And play. Good. Tell them what. Good. Spin off. Support the pass. Good. 1, 2. Good. Play. Good. Good. We should be able to keep everything one touch here. We should be able to keep everything one touch here. Good. Good. Right away, you're into it, Max? Good. Yes, well done. Good. Noah, overhit that entry pass. He'll take the weight out of it, right? Good. Good communication, right? Yeah, if that's what you're asked to do, call out the double pass. He knows. You're defining what's next. 1, 2, ask for it. Hey, let's curl our run here, right? We know we're doing a 1, 2. We're putting them down the line. Bend out. Get your hips framed where you need to go. Good in time. So, hey, let's correct it now so it can get better. So, Owen, as you've just bumped it into Christian, bump it into Christian. Good, in the ball, hold the ball then. How do we make sure dummies work? You guys, it's got to be communicated. The person behind you is telling the dummy's coming. You can't dummy it and assume, right? He's the one who's calling for the ball. So we need to hear the communication from behind. What else did you say? Sell it, right? So drop your shoulders, step over it. And now if we know we're performing a 1, 2, begin to dummy and bend your run to get your hips open to receive across your body to play him into the grid. So as this ball comes in, go ahead and do it. No, dummy it. Yes, turn. Good. He's on his left foot. He plays it in. Thank goodness you're on your left foot. Touch and play, right? If you can do it in one touch, do it in one touch. So right there, Sammy, you would play it back, drop out, step into the next pass. So let's make sure if we're doing a dummy pass, lay it down, back out, step into the pass, pinging it and killing it. Get it back to the beginning. Let's look at it live. Here we go. Christian, you want the ball? Good. Good. Overhit it, right? That's another cue. Overhitting the pass. Good. Make it work. That's fine. Again, bend your run, get it across your body. That's where the visual communication. Here. He should know you're left-footed though, right? Or you should know you're not right-footed. Here we go. Good. You can work on it. Here we go. Good. Everybody, here we go. Sell it, boys. Sell it. Be loud in your communication here. Yes. Good. Quickly, get there. You got a double pass. It didn't work. Hey, you got to be calling for the double pass, defining the next movement. Don't forget about the double pass here, Ethan. Don't forget about the double pass. Accelerate. Get to the ball, Ethan. Good. Now be ready to step into it, Max. Ping it. Kill it. Attack it now, Max. Attack it. Tell him what. Good. Sammy, curl to the outside. Get your hips framed. That's all right. Next play. Cross your body if you can. Hey, right there, Jonah, you can tell him I want it here, right? And so, hey, if you tell him I want it here, now I can tell him he didn't do his job. But I can't do that because you didn't do yours. Let him know where you want the ball.
So yeah, let's now go over some of the setup, the positions of equipment and the players, and then let's talk about some of the methods. So here we'll see, first of all, that the bottom area around the halfway line, as illustrated here, is the starting position. So the activity is set up so that the defenders are playing the ball into midfield players, who are then playing into target players, strikers, or forward players. So as we see set up on this particular diagram, we see a left back, a number 3, or a central defender, number 4 or 5, playing the ball to a high positioned central midfield player, number 8, or it could be a number 10. That player is then passing the ball backwards and on an angle to a supporting centre midfield player, number 6, who then plays the ball to the target player. So that's the end of that sequence, and then it is the activity is re-established by playing the ball back down to the other side to the waiting number 2 or the number 4 or 5 on the right hand side, and then the ball goes in the opposite direction. So there is direction to this activity, and it does involve some of the functional positioning of players both in the defensive line, the midfield line, and the striker line. Ian, over to you.
So one of the things I'd like to point out to everybody, if you go to the very beginning of the video, Alan had the grid set up. He had the other grid because he had 2 groups working. They were all standing in the positions, and then he walked them through this pattern. And the best way to teach this or get this going is to, again, put the players in the situation and move them through it slowly. So I thought from a method point of view, excellent job by Alan, the coach. What I do like about this activity is that you can get functional. So this would definitely be a left flank player. These would be potentially your central midfielders, maybe your central midfielder and a striker, and then perhaps a high flank player up here. So if you're going to rotate the players through so everybody gets a turn at everything, that's great. But you could leave them in the fixed positions to give them that sort of functional responsibility too. And then the other thing I would really want to point out is that in almost all examples, the players on the flanks were using a 2-touch with them, and Alan was supportive of that. But everything that happened in the passing combinations in the middle was 1-touch. And so I think that's a really good example of times when 2-touch, settle the ball, prepare it, serve it is great. And other times where 1-touch is going to be more relevant and necessary. And of course, the exchange of passes between 2 guys in the midfield is going to have to be quicker and sharper than potentially the service coming from a flank player. And then, all through the video, Alan was chirping at the players and reminding them their roles and responsibilities. But certainly the movement, the little check runs, the little shape of the runs is a key component when you're looking at the 2 players that form the central pivot.
So, Ian, you and I have both mentioned that this is a functional training activity. And in this setup, you've probably got a left back, two central midfield players, and a striker. What would you say to coaches that don't have that as their formation? And how can they adapt this activity for the formation that they use?
Yeah, great. So if excuse me, if you play with a 4-3-3, and you want to make this a little bit more of a tactical function, put that third player in here somewhere and create that triangle and just mix up your pattern. Most of us are playing with a 2 and a 3 and a 7 and 11. We're playing with flank players in some capacity, so that's okay. But if you make it just purely technical, which is totally fine, an activation, physical activation in passing sequence, then the players rotate as Alan has them. If you've got a slightly more sophisticated squad, you use the same activity, but you don't have the players exchange position, because this left back, he or she is going to be passing in to this high midfielder in the game on a regular basis. So let's practice that relationship, that eye contact, that identification of movement. So functionality at a tactical level is critical. And it's just really, the nice thing again is how one activity can be used in many different ways for the coach based on what you're trying to get out of the session.
So now let's move on to the second sequence, and this also demonstrates the rotation. So if you remember in the previous diagram, the final pass was made from the target player on the right-hand side back to the fullback, the number 2. So the player that originally played the first pass has now run in and now becomes the low player. So that player's run into the middle and now has become the low player. The player that was previously the high player has now followed their pass and now become the next target player. So that has been the rotation of the players in the middle. The player that received the low pass in the first sequence now becomes the high player and has now moved into a higher position. So that's the rotation, and the player, of course, that played the long pass will then follow that pass. So we're now going back in the other direction, so from right to left in this sequence, and the sequence is slightly different, with the low player showing, checking, the player that starts with the ball, the number 2, now combining with the low player, so now with the number 6, and that player then playing the ball to the high player. As that ball goes into the high player, the number 6 now turns and supports again with the number 8, and that player eventually makes the pass into the high position. So a slightly more sophisticated routine pattern, and one that includes 2 or 3 more additional passes in the midfield. Ian?
Yeah, so once you've got the rotations worked out, that's important. But what I like here about the advancement was that originally it was skip out the first player, play through the first player to the high player, and then drop it and then go. So it's that was the nice first rotation. Now it's hit the first player, it's not going to work out, so there's a drop and we go somewhere else. So you're adding in that second pass, that double pass, if you will. I like the notion of checking over your shoulder, which is something that Alan put into the session. But one of the parts of this is when a player is well marked, you don't want them trying to turn with the ball necessarily. If they can get rid of the ball, turn without it, and always be playing front forward. And so these different angles of support, and then obviously the communication, verbal and non-verbal, of the players and their movement creates the opportunities for the skip pass in the first activity or this double pass in the second activity.
So as we now move into the final sequence, we have the pass made backwards from the target player. The number 3 starts again, so the fullback position will now start, and the pass is made to the low player, who then combines again with the player that's coming on from the corner. That player now is hitting the corner player, so there's a dummy now involved, where the ball is now played to the very highest player, and that player is now dropping the ball back for a double pass, and eventually to play the ball to the number 2. So, and then again, another different pattern involving the same players, and something that as a team you're trying to work the ball from one side of the field through the midfield players to the other side of the field, Ian.
Yeah, and the key here really, if the coaches go back to the video, is that this has gone from really a 2-man pattern to the introduction of the third player. So it's become a much more of a triangle. There's more movement coming in from the outside of the grid into the grid. So I like that. And you can see that the sophistication of the pattern is possible because the previous 2 patterns have established the initial movement, and now the players are beginning to see variations off of it. Again, to David's point previously, if you play with a slightly different formation, you could maybe change the numbers of players in various positions, or even the starting position. So maybe the ball comes from the middle, goes outside, and comes back into the middle. But what I like from a methodological point of view is that during the session, up here you can see we've got a coach. That was Alan in the white baseball hat in the video. He's continually chirping reminders to the players. He's occasionally putting names on the players so they can identify that the instruction is going directly to them. And there's a ton of activity, and there's improvement without having to continually stop it. Once he's got the method going, or excuse me, once he's got the organization going, he's able to coach it without stopping it. And we call that coaching in the flow. And I think this video is well worth looking at again, because you can get the 3 patterns down pretty quickly, but it's all the detail that he puts in that I think is the most impressive part of that video.
The one thing, Ian, that this activity didn't include was the final product going to goal. And one of the things that certainly comes to mind here is if we start with all the soccer balls down at one corner, what we could eventually see is these players from here breaking forward to go to goal, and then the restart occurs from the opposite corner. What's your thoughts on actually adding an end product to this activity?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is clearly the fundamental activation activity. But to your point, David, once the ball has gone from, let's say it's gone from this corner and it's been worked into the top of the grid, then whoever's up here could lay a ball across and one player finishes with a shot going one way. So you could absolutely build this from a unopposed pattern play in the midfield block that then goes into a final third for a quick finish and incorporate your goalkeepers and strikers too. And then obviously at some point, quite quickly, probably after 15, 20 minutes, we start putting maybe a defender on the back of this player, a defender on the back of this player, and they find their patterns based on how the defenders react as much as doing a set pattern. They use those variations based on what the defenders give them or don't give them.
Well, thank you, Ian, and thank you, coaches, for joining us on this edition of Give and Go Live.